Personally, it is my conviction that all sentient beings are immortal spiritual beings. This includes human beings. For the sake of accuracy and simplicity, I will use a made up word is be, because the primary nature of an immortal being is that they live in a timeless state of is, and the only reason for their existence is that they decide to be. Hi, I'm Desiree.
And I'm Mariah,
We're two sisters with a love of storytelling
and the paranormal, and you're listening to As
as the
the Crow
crow
Flies.
flies.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. This is kind of a part two. So, last episode, we talked about Matilda O'Donnell McElroy and her very wild experience in Roswell, right?
Yes. Yes.
And this week we decided to explore some more Roswell Area 51 esque areas of the world and wanted to just talk about aliens in general and experiences that people have had globally and how they differ and very much align with many reports that we've come across, just out of the US. And so I found some really interesting information, and I'm very excited to share with everyone today.
Yes. I just think aliens are such a cool topic because my mind kind of thinks of space the same way that you might like rationalize the ocean, and that it's so large and it's so vast and there's no way you can explore it all. And so you can't, it's hard to say what is down there and what isn't down there. And I think it's the same for space. And another thing is just like kind of with the chupacabra and how our family talked about it when we were little girls. And like our dad used to joke that aliens would probe you by sticking needles in your belly button.
Don't touch the belly button.
Yeah. And then we also learned that in the Barney and Betty Hill experience, Betty got probed in her belly button for a pregnancy test. And so it's just like all these little weird connections that I'm
Mhm.
making, at least from like, oh my gosh, this was said as a kid and now I'm an adult and I'm researching this and this actually happened.
Yeah,
So
all
I think
all the
maybe,
pieces are coming together.
yeah, maybe just kind of our quirky upbringing and the stories we heard as kids are what planted these little seeds of interest for me. And now we get to dive into them as adults. And I think it's really interesting and fun. The other thing is that I love the way our work is changing my algorithm for the better because we'll do an episode on a certain topic, and so that's like all of my cookies or whatever is
Mhm.
saying, oh, she's interested in this, she's interested in this, and then some crazy stuff pops up, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then it makes me want to, okay, I'll have to save that for a future episode, or I'll send that video to Mariah to see what she thinks.
Yeah, and then we just kind of like ping pong off of each other. And like one of my algorithm vibe shifts has been haunted lakes and like haunted bodies of water. And then I'll go into these like, no pun intended, deep dives, rabbit holes of just stories of like, what if, just kind of like getting the imagination and the mind going
Yeah.
is really fun. And it's so much nicer than the news and,
Yeah.
reality sometimes. A
Yeah.
lot of the time.
And mentioning the news, I think I just want to say too, like, my heart, I'm sure yours too, Mariah, is just breaks for the devastation that's happening in all of these communities as a result of the massive earthquakes that all happen within 24 hours of each other. I saw a rescue video of this group, were clearing rubble from a building, and they were walking away, and they just heard this sad little bark, and there's just a dog's head sticking out of the rubble barely, and so they poured water for the dog and they rescued it. And I'm just thinking, there's people who are in those situations, there's children who are in those situations, and I just it's awful. So I wanted to provide a correction. So in the last episode, if you listened to Matilda O'Donnell McElroy's episode, you heard me refer to the immortal sentient beings as ISBEs. And that's because when I was reading the sources, it was put that way, ISBEs. And then as I continued to listen to the audiobook that was linked in the show notes from that episode, I discovered that Arl actually calls them is bees. And so if you caught it in the intro, it's a made up word that Arl created to refer to these immortal sentient beings because they, as she said, live in a timeless state of is, and the only reason for their existence is that they decide to be. So she referred to them actually as is bees and not ISBEs. So I just wanted to provide that correction that you might, if you continue on with your own research or you look into it yourself and you're like, Desiree said ISBEs, but she's saying is bees. That's why. Arl does refer to them as is bees.
Very cool. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that too. It just adds like another layer to ponder on, and I just love those little tidbits.
Yes. And I'm really excited to continue with alien things today.
Yes. So to get started, I think we probably, if we're in this realm, we all have this like mental connection of the US and Russia and kind of buried news and conspiracies and things. And so as I was looking into more Area 51-esque locations around the world, Russia, unsurprisingly, popped up as one of the homes for actually a few of these bases. And I wanted to begin with a peek in the Ural mountain range, if anyone remembers that
I
from
forgot you
the
said that.
Yes. So Mount Yamantau, and I think Mount is actually redundant.
Oh,
This,
yes. The mountain.
yeah, the name translates to evil or wicked mountain. Yamantau is the highest peak in the southern Ural section of the Ural mountain range at 1,640 meters above sea level. And as I mentioned, the name translates to evil or wicked mountain. Inspired, it seems, by the inaccessibility, the unforgiving terrain, and its rather large population of brown bears scattered across the land. And so I think we're all kind of familiar, hopefully, you guys are familiar with our Dyatlov Pass episode, and a lot of the same factors and like vibes given in that area of the Ural Mountains. And thinking of Russian winters as a whole has always just been described as like absolutely horrible, not not very likely to survive. I think it's played a big part in wars, even. They've got the upper hand there.
Yeah.
And you just don't mess with it. You know, go in prepared or don't go.
Yeah, go unprepared or be prepared to die, I feel like.
Yeah, prepared for one of two outcomes.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a whole lot of direct like reports or anything. I'm not going to go back into our Dyatlov past details, but that there was already some weird stuff going on. Talks of military conspiracies, talks of potential alien activity, and despite Russia's insistence that nothing untoward is going on, the US continues to claim that these mountains house a sizable secret nuclear facility, which was something else that we talked about. There are rumors of covert operations starting as early as the 1960s, and
Mm.
that came to be because the US was taking note of mining and construction activity popping up along the slopes out of nowhere, and then just continuing to get no reaction or information from Russia saying it's just rich with mining stuff,
Yeah.
stuff to be mined, which is true for that region, but the size of the bunker and like facilities that have been seen doesn't seem to align with the activity or lack of activity that is being self-reported out of those same areas. So
Sorry, I just went on my own little side quest while you were talking because as you were describing how dangerous, treacherous the Ural Mountains were, and
yes.
how maybe Russia may or may not be allegedly hiding things up there, do you remember where Arl said the Lost Battalion had built their base?
No,
In the
part of my
Himalayas?
subconscious must have remembered that.
In the Himalayas.
Where
The
is the?
Himalayas and the Ural Mountains are on the same continent.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
And they're not, I mean, like, relatively not that far from each other. So let me
You think?
actually, let's put a picture because
Desiree loves pictures.
I do. I love pictures.
A
As
visual.
sorry, as you were saying that, my mind is just like, wait a second. Yeah. So if we're thinking about an alien encounter in the Ural Mountains, keep in mind that that is where Arl claims that the first base of the domain officers they were stationed in the Himalayas because they wanted to be in that treacherous place. They wanted to be away from humans. They wanted to be somewhere where humans weren't going to find them because not to be sneaky, but their job is to try and dismantle the system and not interfere with humans' lives.
Yep.
And even at the top of the episode, Arl's main purpose is to preserve. Oh, I guess I didn't say it in the top of the episode, but Arl says that her mission is to try and preserve the species of human beings on planet Earth that was designed as a prison by the Old Empire.
Hmm.
I digress.
I wish I wasn't so scatterbrained because I maybe we'll have to do like an extension to the extended episode here of the Himalayas and like that actually that region. But that is really interesting to
Yeah.
put together. Like my brain just doesn't comprehend like where things are spatially and globally until I see it uh,
Hmm.
visually. And so that is definitely eye opening.
Yeah.
So, yes, that is all I dug into on the Ural Mountains. I just thought it was interesting, of course. And then I found myself in another region of Russia at a base called Kapustin Yar. This is a military training base turned missile test range that was established on May 13th, 1946. It has gained much notoriety through its 80 years of existence. Not only is it the site of known ballistic missile and nuclear testing, as well as gaining the status of Cosmodrome in 1962 after launching its first research satellites under the Cosmos series of rockets. So Cosmodrome just means that it is a location that can launch and or receive spacecraft. Kapustin Yar only launches, they don't receive, but
I just
that
love
is
the name.
yeah. Cosmodrome?
No, Kapustin
Kapustin
Yar.
Yar. Yeah.
Exactly. Kapustin Yar.
Space pirates.
Yeah. After your
Um,
booty.
the belly button.
Oh, sorry.
Other wrong hole. So Cosmodrome. uh, so despite being known, for those proven purposes, it's also been suspected of hosting extraterrestrial activity. So while there haven't been many reported sightings here, earliest occurrence took place only 2 years after operations began there.
Hmm.
in June 19th, 1948. To quote Ryan Haidt, an author and blogger that I came across in my researches, radar operators at Kapustin Yar picked up a silvery cigar shaped craft moving at astonishing speeds. MiG fighters were scrambled, one engaged with this craft.
Peep that description. That is the same way that the crafts were described by Betty and Barney Hill.
Yes, that was not lost on me.
Ah,
And
okay.
so Ryan continues, some say the UFO returned fire with a beam of light, downing the MiG. Others claim the MiG clipped the craft, bringing both crafts down. But in all versions, non human bodies were allegedly recovered from these downed crafts. Short, thin, with greenish gray skin and oversized heads.
That's the
These
same from
remains
Betty and Barney Hill.
These remains, so the legend goes, were taken into underground vaults at Kapustin Yar. Scientists attempted to reverse engineer the technology, and soon after, the Soviet Union made rapid strides in aerospace engineering.
That's crazy.
Yes. And
I just think
so,
it's
go ahead.
I just think it's crazy when this is Russia. Betty and
Yes.
Barney Hill was in the 50s, wasn't it? In 56?
Yeah. So
Is that the same? No, so
I
that was years after, but
yeah, I tried looking into more of this like specific incident. I couldn't come up with much, but I thought it was pretty curious that Matilda's experience in Roswell happened only 11 months before this Russian occurrence.
okay. Yep.
And our local favorites, Betty and Barney Hill, they described a very similar cigar shaped craft, which was
With the
13
legend.
years later in the mountains of New Hampshire. Although that's quite a big time stretch,
Hmm.
I feel like it is still pretty significant that the descriptions were so like
Yeah.
on point with each other. And hopefully it's not like an ignorant assumption on my part, but like in a time where we didn't have social media, obviously. There
Yep.
was not this, like, oh, copy and paste here. I found this and I can quote this. Like,
Yeah. I was thinking the
my
same.
feeling is that Betty and Barney Hill weren't super read up on Russian happenings in military bases. Like, it just,
11 years prior.
yeah, 13 years before they were busy with a lot of their own things, civil rights, and they did not seem like the type that was just deep in this alien conspiracy hole. And
Yeah.
so that stood out to me. I will add though, all of this, from Matilda to the hills and everything in between, is occurring in the midst of the Cold War. So that happened between 1945 to 1991, which I also didn't
Mm.
realize was that long,
Yeah.
like that it occurred over that time span. So I don't think we can necessarily rule out the potential effect of paranoia, propaganda,
Yeah, I
and
thought the
just
same thing.
general military conspiracies of the era. But again, I think taking into context, the specific groups that we're talking about, there doesn't seem to be a lot of overlap with the hills and all of these other occurrences. And so that
Mhm.
was just very odd to me. Not only like that happened after this first sighting or the one that I'm reporting on. And so to have basically the same description was
Yeah.
really, it took my breath away.
As soon as you said cigar shaped, I'm like, oh my gosh, Betty and Barney also said a cigar shaped. And then
As soon as
there
I
was a
read
light out of the bottom too, wasn't there?
that,
Yeah. And the same body shapes and yeah,
yep,
very
soon as
interesting.
I read that, I pulled up our notes from that episode and I was like,
Yeah.
I know it's in here.
Yeah. It's in here somewhere.
That was exciting. Moving on from Russia, though, I did want to, like, I feel like that in my mind, a low hanging fruit. Russia is like a big, they've got to be hiding something kind of vibes.
Yeah.
I also came across mention of the Nullarbor Plain in Australia, another favorite of mine.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to explore that a little more. And I actually found more than I was expecting from seemingly nothing in the middle of nowhere, Australia. So The English name Nullarbor Plain translates from Latin, meaning no trees, or if
Ah,
you consider the Aboriginal peoples, they called it Undiri, which was given by the indigenous Mirning and Yinyilla peoples, meaning waterless.
oh,
So, nothing. There's nothing there. It's a desert. This desert region spans approximately 77,000 square miles between Western and South Australia, all the way down
dang.
on the bottom coast. It stretches about 684 miles from east to west as the crow flies. So, a direct shot. And the Eyre Highway is the singular maintained paved road crossing the plain, measuring 1,034 miles long, because it's not
Wow.
cutting that direct path. It's going
Mhm.
like straight up and down and then left, right,
Yeah.
east to west. Um,
West to east.
yes, and all in between. Yes, a big expanse of what we would probably all imagine not much of anything.
Yeah.
While deserts bring to mind these ideas of just vast expanses of sand and tumbleweeds and dust and dirt, the Null Arbor Plain is home to several interesting characters. So, just to give us an idea, of where we're at, they've got wedge tailed eagles, reptiles, things that you would usually imagine,
For
but they've all,
Australia.
yeah, relatively commonplace. But they also have wombats, echidnas, which I saw described as like
Mm.
spiky anteaters. They just
Yeah.
look so cute.
Are those
Kangaroos.
the ones that are endangered? The echidnas, and
I
there's like
think they
a,
might be.
or I might be thinking of there's an animal. It's like a more like an armadillo. Armored amarillo is
An armored armadillo.
armadillo, but I think that might be in Africa. I think.
Mm,
Anyways,
we'll
I
figure
know
it
what
out.
you're talking about, an echidna.
But they are stinking cute. Kangaroos. Everyone expects kangaroos in Australia. They have no shortage. Like slightly related note, we watch a lot of like random ass shows on Discovery and stuff, and I have seen like road trains, what they call them is like big rigs here, 18 wheelers. These road trains will unfortunately hit kangaroos sometimes, and it just always astounds me how freaking big kangaroos are,
Oh,
how muscular they are, and just how like stocky and
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, kangaroos are, like, kind of scary. I feel I feel like a little lied to because
yeah,
I
they're
feel
like
like
super
I
romanticized and like
yeah, and, like,
made to
so
look so
cute,
friendly.
and
Kanga and Roo, and then
yeah.
you've just got Roo.
Yeah. Steroid jacked Roo. Have you
Yeah.
seen the one of the kangaroo, like, trying to drown the guy's dog? And then the dog
No,
the owner gets into a fist fight with the kangaroo.
I have seen fist fights with kangaroos though, so that's not
Yeah.
surprising.
But they're so scary looking, like,
Yeah.
way less friendly than what we grew up thinking of them as.
Mhm.
I just was like, "Oh my gosh, it's like out of a nightmare."
Seriously, yeah. So speaking of nightmares, emus, those rabid-looking birds, like the rough cousin of the ostrich, and ostriches already are not
No,
nice and fluffy.
they're
It
crazy.
just reminds me of this lady who raises emus on her farm, and there's this one that is constantly trying to like catch her off guard, and it will just like run at
Yes.
her, and she sticks her arm out and grabs it by the neck, or like
I
not
think
grabs it, but stops it.
yeah, I'm pretty sure its name
Emu.
is Karen.
That's what I thought, yeah, but I didn't want to misname it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she calls that one Karen.
So you'll find those dingoes. A dingo ate my baby. The wild dogs,
Yes.
and even camels. Did you expect camels in Australia?
No.
Good. So they're not native.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
um, they are not native to Australia, but they are now thriving in the region despite having been introduced as transportation aids
Mm.
in the
In the
19th
desert.
century, while railroads,
I have a hard time thinking.
railroads were
Well,
moving.
oats. Marriage.
Marriage, what brings us together today?
Today.
But so they were brought there just to aid with transportation while railroads were being built, and then they were pretty much left for dead. The people who had brought them there for their own purposes decided we have no use for these anymore, and they're not worth it to us to like export them back out. So they left them there and just figured that they would die out, but they're thriving. And so you'll
Sad.
see packs of camels in the Null Arbor Plain, which,
Smoking packs of camels.
so yeah, it is so hot. Yes. But you'll just see packs of camels.
That's sad. They just left them there to.
I
They're like, oh well,
know.
we brought them here. We used them. What? Nothing else to do. See
Yep.
ya. Good luck.
It just reminds me though of Jurassic Park when he's like, life finds a way.
Well, and then I wish the camels would be over there like, we lived.
Pretty much. They are like, it's not just like they're scraping to get by. Like
Right.
they're doing well. They're
We're
built for the
thriving,
desert.
bitch.
Yeah. So yeah, that paints a pretty good picture of where we're at. So there are no military bases in the Null Arbor Plain, which stood out because up until this point, that's kind of been the focal
The
point.
vibe.
No military, but it is very, very active for strange and unusual activities. Um,
Peculiar.
yes. So now that we have an idea of what we're looking at, I have a handful of the plethora of UFO, or what I came across called UAP,
Yeah.
unidentified aerial phenomena sightings from the area. I also wanted to share before we hop into the stories. I very highly recommend looking through project1947.com. So this is where I got all of my stories from the Null Arbor Plain specifically, but they cover world events like alien and UFO and UAP sightings. So it's not like just specific to this region. They are self described as an attempt to enhance the future of UFO research by establishing a solid collection of official UFO documents, newspaper articles, and personal accounts from the beginning of the modern UFO era. That was pretty cool. And I'd never heard of it before. And so now it's bookmarked.
Wow.
A show. And here are just a few of the stories that I came across and had to filter so many out because there's just so many that like fall right along with what we've been talking about, and like you just kind of have to pick and choose which ones, but I could read all of them and feel like each one of these is relevant or hits a point of something we've talked about somewhere else in the world. I was just so excited to find this site.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have
And
to
so
look through it.
it looks like it goes chronologic also. So I started at the beginning with a incident on June 27th, 1954. This was reported near Eucla, Western Australia. And so all of these happened around the Null Arbor Plain region. This was a report of a flying saucer. Three east to west motorists traveling east to west reported seeing a flying saucer maneuvering in the sky near the Null Arbor Plain. They watched it for 15 minutes as it flew about, obviously under control. So it wasn't just kind of sporadically, technical terms.
Yeah.
It appeared as a brilliant white light against a background of dark storm clouds, and it disappeared suddenly. On their arrival at Kalgoorlie late last night, the motorist, Mr. T.A. Mulrian, his wife, and 23-year-old son Paul of Sydney, said the saucer appeared northwest of Eucla on Sunday night. They thought they saw fins or elevators on each side move up and down when it came within 5 miles of them at no more than 1,000 feet above the ground.
They said
And
the same thing, Betty and Barney Hill.
another party of motorists reported a similar object over the sea half an hour earlier that same night.
And that's
1954.
that's what I always think is cool is when like multiple people who are not connected
Mm-hmm.
have similar reports because it's like again in the 50s do you like they couldn't just text each other and be like hey say this. Yeah.
Yes. And I found quite a bit of these like corroborating stories from strangers all in the same area. Very cool. So the next one occurred around September or October of 1957. I guess some resources also give the date as November 2nd, 1957. So kind of varied. This was in Maralinga, South Australia, around dusk. So RAF, Royal Australian Air Force,
Hmm.
Corporal Derek Murray and colleagues observed a hovering object described as silver blue in color and having metallic luster. It it had a line of windows or portholes along the edge. The object could be seen so clearly that they could make out what appeared to be plating on the object's surface. The duty air traffic controller reportedly checked with Alice Springs and Edinburgh airports, but they reported no sightings. After about 15 minutes, the object left quickly without noise. Murray stated, I swear to you, as a practicing Christian, this was no dream, no illusion, not fairy story, but a solid craft of metallic construction.
Ah! Okay, Betty and Barney Hill was in 56,
Uh,
56, 58, somewhere around there.
yeah, like almost to the 60s. But that
Yes.
that was not lost on me either. Like the
The row of windows,
yes,
and like how clearly they could see it. I'm like, bah. I'm at a loss for words. How do you,
my job is done.
yeah, why would someone in New Hampshire have the same experience as someone in Australia? They don't know each other. There's no easy way to communicate with someone from over there at this time period. Like,
Mhm.
are you gonna make a really expensive collect call to make this huge story when Betty and Barney Hill didn't even want their story out there? Like, I
Exactly.
just
And also like that you've got the everyday person having sightings, but like you've got these military personnel also reporting these things. What?
yeah, I'm at a loss for words. I just could stumble over myself because it's like this is inexplicable.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That brings me to another interesting incident. So, August 22nd, 1968, we are now in Xanthus, Western Australia. Aircraft VH RTO was flying a charter run between Adelaide and Perth. It was at 8,000 feet, about 190 to 195 knots, tracking 27 degrees magnetic.
270.
Whoops, thank you. 270 degrees magnetic.
I really need to stop reading ahead, but
No, you're good. Uh, Garden saw a UFO and woke Smith. Ahead of the aircraft, at the same level and 50 degrees to the right of Smith's seat, Smith said, I saw a formation of aircraft. In the middle was a large aircraft, and formatted to the right and left and above were 4 or 5 smaller aircraft. Kalgoorlie DCA advised them that there was no traffic in the area. Then radio communications were lost. The main ship split into 2 sections, still maintaining the same level, and the smaller aircraft then flew out left and right. At this time, there
mm,
appeared to be about 6 smaller aircraft taking turns of going out and coming back and formatting in the 2 halves. Sometimes the 2 halves joined and split, and the whole cycle continued for 10 minutes. Smaller craft had a constant cigar shape. At 9:50 GMT, the whole formation joined together as if at a single command, then departed at a tremendous speed. Departed in about 3 or 4 seconds, diminishing in size till out of sight. Weather was fine. No haze above 5,000 feet. 2 out of 8 alto stratus to the south. Immediately after the departure of the objects, radio communications returned.
girl.
Bro.
Oh my gosh. As you were talking about how they kept like moving, like
Mm-hmm.
um Arl says it's all mind control. They connect to, so as if they were all under one command. It could have just been one Isby at the helm
Mm-hmm.
directing everything.
Yes. And oh my God, just the organization, the like boom,
Ah,
boom, boom, everything happening, the cigar shape of it all.
Again,
Again.
yeah, yeah, the cigar shape of it all, and the radio communications being lost.
Yes. And then
That
just, oh, they're back.
yeah, it's, what's the word?
There's so many words in the English language.
What Betty radioactivity? No, radiation. Remember Betty got tested, her clothes tested for radiation?
Yes. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So that
I
makes me think
remember.
that's how they lost the radio communication because there's some radiation when they're in close proximity to those crafts. Oh, that one's that's crazy.
Yeah. And there's so many more like this. The last one that I had was pretty quick, but I thought it was also interesting. So this is a in October 1970, just described as being again in the Null Arbor Plain. Two people were driving in a panel van when they noticed a bright white light over their vehicle. The driver found they had no control over steering or speed. The vehicle seemed to be up in the air. Finally, they somehow found themselves back on the road. Some
The
32 hours of missing time occurred and their watches stopped.
same thing happened with Betty and Barney. Their
Yes.
watches were oh my gosh.
Again, bro, girl.
Oh my gosh. And this is after Betty and Barney.
Yes. 1970.
Oh
But it's
yeah.
all so close, like all in the same little cluster of time. And like,
Yeah.
what?
Oh my
Seriously,
gosh.
I
Now I'm gonna be reading this website all day.
please do. Because yeah, I didn't even get halfway through the site. In a like, I'm already over here like, should I add some more? Should I add some more? And like, I would just not stop.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I had to end the episode of Matilda McDonald O'Donnell McElroy when I did because I could just keep going. It's so interesting.
Hmm. One last thing that I'll add, I didn't want to go super into it because it is a more like it wasn't known to me, but it is a more popularly known happening in the Null Arbor Plain was the 1988 incident with the Knowles family. It was a mother and her three adult sons driving across the plain, and they had a pretty interesting run in with lights in the sky and feeling like they did not have control over the car and feeling like they were being lifted off of the
Oh,
road. And they made like a police report and everything about it.
oh my gosh. When you were describing that from the October 1971, all I pictured was the cow, the cow being sucked up to the
Oh, what in the
spacecraft.
world?
But that's I feel like the cool thing, the interesting thing is that like these stories don't while there's similarities between the stories that we have from Franconia Notch,
Hmm.
they're not copy paste. So that in my brain gives me some more validity because Betty and Barney never mentioned being lifted. Barney felt a physical pull, like, or I guess not a physical pull, but like a mental pull towards the
Hmm.
craft. Remember when he walked out into the field?
Yes.
But there was never anything where and the light came down, but it was never like over their vehicle. It never picked their vehicle up. But
That
they
they
were missing.
remember, but remember they said they were like suddenly so much farther down the road.
Oh, okay, yeah. But but the similarity is that there's a
Yeah.
lot of missing time and their watches were incorrect.
Yeah. And no, I just mean that like they
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah, you're
recall
right
or
though.
report that sensation, but almost the
Mhm.
same thing kind of happening of like all of a sudden they're not where they started
Yeah.
and there's no memory of that.
Oh my goodness. This is so interesting.
So I know I started mentioning it and I was like, oh, I wasn't going to go into it because it was like more popularly told. I'll tell you about the Knowles family.
Yeah.
I guess I'll tell you. So this is since I didn't, like write out my own description. This is from uforq.org, the Knowles family UFO incident. And also for anyone interested, they also have a YouTube video linked at the bottom of this article of the Knowles family interview, so you can actually watch the family.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Which one did you say? Oh, you're clicked on it? Okay. I'll open the tab.
at about 4 a.m., Faye Knowles and her sons, Patrick, 24, Sean, 21, and Wayne, 18, were between Madura and Mundrabilla, with Sean driving and Patrick next to him in the front seat, when a bright light was seen ahead of them. Sean thought the light strange and asked his brother if he thought it was a spaceship. This idea was rejected by his brother, but Sean's interest was piqued and he sped the car up in order to catch up to the object and get a closer look. At about 20 meters from the object, the family say they were confronted with a white, blinding light that moved along in front of their moving vehicle. It was about 1 meter wide and described as a slightly angular egg in an egg cup shape with a yellow center. The object, which at first appeared to be either on the ground or immediately above it, then began to move back and forth. Sean swerved the car to the opposite side of the road to avoid a collision with the object, but then nearly collided with a station wagon towing a caravan coming in the other direction. The occupants of the second car have never come forward.
Ah.
I know. The object then circled around to the right side of their car and appeared to give chase to the second vehicle towing the caravan. The Knowles made 2 U-turns at this point, the first to give chase to the object, and the second to abandon this idea as they had grown frightened.
Abort mission.
Yes, immediately. They had at this point gained the idea that the object was after them.
Oh.
It keeps going. So at some point, the family felt that the UFO had returned and had landed on their vehicle.
Landed on the vehicle?
They heard a clunking sound and felt that the car was being pushed down by a weight that rested on top of it.
Oh, all the little circles. Okay, continue.
By now, the family was understandably frightened, and the following events are difficult to unravel in retrospect. The family believed that the car was lifted above the road, although none of them were able to estimate for how long or how high. Mrs. Knowles wound down a rear window and reached for the roof. Girl, what? Don't put
Did
your
you have
hand up.
radiation poisoning?
No mention of radiation,
Oh,
but
okay.
she
But
felt
also,
something.
no, you can't
Yeah,
see what's up there. Like,
it's like taking your toes off the end of the bed when you're a kid.
yeah.
She felt something soft and rubbery that was hot but did not burn her hand. And when she brought her hand back into the car, she found it was covered in a blackish dust. This event caused a panic in the rest of the family. Obviously.
Yeah.
Patrick wound down his window, only to be covered in the fine dust, which was accompanied by a foul smell that was likened to dead bodies.
Sulfur.
Mhm. A high pitched sound was then heard, which sent the dogs into a frenzy. I forgot, it wasn't mentioned at the beginning of this one, but they had 2 dogs in the car.
Betty and
Yes.
Barney had their puppy, Delphi. I almost said Daphne. I was like, that's not right. Delphi.
No. Yes, I know.
So do aliens just like dogs? They say, here, puppy, puppy.
Then start driving around with Goose through the notch.
For a chance encounter. Yeah, go to the notch, bring your dogs.
Yep. It's 2 a.m. Let's go for a ride.
Or Australia. One of the two.
Yeah.
The Ural Mountains.
A quick trip. Yep.
Yeah.
So, yes, the high pitched sound sent the dogs into a frenzy. The family became disoriented and felt that their voices had become slower and lower in pitch. At this point, they believed they were going to die. Patrick said that he felt that his brain was being sucked out, and Mrs. Knowles likened it to having something going into our heads. A while later, the family felt the car forced back down onto the road, bursting the rear right tire. Sean brought the car to a sudden stop and then blacked out.
Yeah.
The family left the car hurriedly and hid in some bushes by the side of the road. They remained there for 15 minutes before changing the tire and continuing on to the nearest town.
That's not enough time.
Can you imagine being so freaked out that you're like, we're going to leave the car. We're going to go sit in the bushes in the desert in Australia,
In Australia.
of all places.
Where there's poisonous spiders and dingoes and
Yeah.
crazy looking fucking kangaroos.
I was gonna say kangaroos that'll beat your ass. I'll get back into the car. I'll take the alien over the kangaroo.
Yeah, right. For real. Oh my gosh.
So it continues.
Wait, I also want to say it's funny that I forget which episode it was. Not the Yowie, maybe it was the Yowies, where we referenced kangaroos as being one of those imaginable animals if we were trying to explain it to like the people who
Oh,
first settled in eh,
it might have been the
this.
Yowie because we were
Yeah.
back in Australia. But yeah, or it could have been Betty and Barney Hill because we were
Yeah.
talking about like them just being interested in the dogs
Yeah.
in Delphi and all of that. So unknown to the Knowles, forgive me, my hair's fluffy.
Hair's
It just
Heron.
it feels loose, and so I need to fix it. But there's no fixing it. It's just gonna be
You see
anyway.
this?
And this isn't even my hair. It's my hair by purchase, not my
Yeah.
hair. Unknown to the Knowles, a truck driver, Mr. Graham Henley, also saw, at the same time and in the same area, a strange light in his rearview mirror.
Oh.
He described it as being like a strong spotlight and like a big fried egg hung upside down.
Oh, upside
I've,
down. Oh.
I've
I
never
always
heard of
thought
this description of the yellow light in the center, and for him to all of a sudden also be seeing this
right.
eggish shape and appearance, like
Yeah.
that just seems like not something two different people would describe.
Yeah, but what's interesting is like I feel like if you think of like the Jetsons and stuff like that, right? Like
Mhm.
you have the cigar shape and then you always have like the little um
Yeah,
dome
the
on the
window.
top, but they're describing it on the bottom. That's interesting.
Mhm.
Maybe it's
It,
because they're in the upside down part of the world.
yes. The toilets flush in the opposite direction. The
Yeah.
UFOs fly upside down.
Makes sense.
I just see the little aliens like on the bottom of the glass.
Stuck to
Yes.
gravity's weird in Australia.
For real. So he saw the big fried egg hung upside down. He kept the object in view for 5 minutes and didn't see any car headlights beneath it. Shortly after Henley pulled into Mundrabilla, he saw the Knowles car arrive and was confronted by the frightened family, all trying to describe their experience. He looked over their car and confirmed the presence of black ash in various areas, both inside and on the exterior of the vehicle, and likened it to a fine silicon sand with a burnt odor to it.
Wonder if it
He
was
all
like exhaust.
that is a good point. Cause yeah, I was like, I don't know, like
They're
I never
diesel.
heard of that. They're diesel, yeah. That's the weird whistling noise.
It's just the diesel charging up the
Yep.
diesel engine.
What are they called? I've heard Tony and Ryan call our version of like backwoods Hicks bogans. They're bogan aliens. They're in their diesel
They're driving a
UAP.
Cummins.
Yeah. No, they're Owens.
They've got the C in the window.
Anyways,
Oh
um, he also noted 4 indents in the roof of the car and the damaged tire.
my gosh,
Henley
sucks.
and two of
Sucks.
his friends also surveyed the scene of the incident, finding skid marks, footprints, and tread tracks that they felt confirmed the Knowles account of their incident, running out of the car and going to hide.
Oh my gosh.
The family had by this time arrived at Seduna and been interviewed by the police there, who confirmed that the family were visibly shaken. They also reconfirmed the presence of the 4 dents and the fine dust. UFO Research South Australia was contacted and arrangements were made for the Knowles to continue to Adelaide for further investigation. Keith Basterfield was at this stage brought into the investigation, and he stated that it appeared to be an extraordinary example of a close encounter that had left physical traces. I'm pretty sure Keith Basterfield was one of the people that works on Project 1947. Yes,
Oh,
I just scrolled up to the top. Yeah, so he is like a known name, like respected name in the UFO UAP
community.
field. Yeah, so that explains.
Mm.
why I'm seeing him pop up. So, yes. However, owing to the story reaching the media, serious investigation became obstructed by checkbook journalism, whatever that means. I guess writing a story for the biggest check and not for,
Oh, yes.
you know,
Changing it up to get more, it's like clickbait.
yeah. With investigators needing to mediate with a television station to be able to talk to the Knowles. So now their short is being sold. The TV station did, however, commission a laboratory investigation of the vehicle, which concluded that no significant dust was observed on the vehicle as presented for inspection. UFO researchers did manage to obtain samples themselves, which they forwarded to
Mhm.
Dr. Richard Haynes, a NASA scientist at the time, who concluded that the dust taken from the interior of the car was different to the dust sampled from the exterior. Further
Hmm.
tests by different analysts have proven no evidence of it being alien or unusual.
Lame.
Well, because why would it Cummins?
Have
Why
you
would it
compared
not?
it to a diesel engine?
Exactly. I think we need to investigate further. Unfortunately, none of this is conclusive. There were no other UFO reports. Oh no, sorry.
I don't buy it.
There were other UFO reports in the same area at the same time, which tends to imply that something unusual occurred. Usually. The only conclusion we can safely come to, though, is that something happened, and that the family witnessed an unusual light and were extremely frightened by its effects. All we have is an interesting story and still no clear idea of what exactly happened.
That is so frustrating because it's like there's so many opportunities to validate what they saw, and then they're like, well, something. I don't know
Yeah.
what it
No,
was,
it
but
wasn't that weird.
can't
You guys just
definitively say it was aliens.
off your rockers.
That's so frustrating.
It's a cover up with the local law enforcement. Ugh.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
for me not sharing that story, I hope you enjoyed that last story.
Yes. Yeah. There's just so many similarities, and things are spread out literally, like geographically, time frame, but there's so many crossover pieces. So it's
Mhm.
like something's going on.
It doesn't make sense for it to all be a coincidence.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a coincidence.
No. And for for whatever reason, I've decided now that they're coincidi in my brain. All of these coincidi
Yeah.
are too frequent and too similar to really be
Yeah.
coincidi. Yeah. And so then that's all I had, but I wanted to just add this thought that was kind of mentioned in various articles that I came across, that this is a huge desert. There is no like sustainable way to have military bases, and like there's just very few little pop-up shops along the way to get gas, to pee,
Mhm.
and get the fuck out of there. But what a perfect place to not be bothered, to set up
Exactly.
your own not official base.
Yeah.
And whoever comes by, who's gonna believe you? You must have been
Right.
hallucinating in the middle of the night because it's such a long drive, and like so much of nothing happening, that you must have just been coming up with something. Your mind was coming up with something to keep you alert enough to keep going.
Imagine the aliens gaslight you. They like get you in the craft. And they're like, no one's gonna believe you anyways. Like,
You
go
no,
ahead, tell them.
nobody.
They're gonna say that the dust isn't real.
No.
That it's your imagination.
You know why? It's your dust. We didn't import our own dust. We're using your dust. Your
Yeah. He thinks it's funny too. They're just gaslighting us so bad. They're like,
Yeah, millennial long gaslighting, and it's working.
well, thank you so much for compiling all of this and sharing these and blowing my mind.
Yes.
Yeah, for real. Oh my
I
goodness.
could just keep going. And yeah,
Yeah,
again, if anyone, I mean, I hope if you're here, you are interested.
right.
So check out Project 1947, please. Of course, if you have your own alien stories, what are you doing not writing to us?
Yes.
Or just somebody, let us know. I hesitantly say I would love to have a story of my own, but also I don't want to be abducted, so
Yeah.
please don't.
Yeah. Right. Like I
But
think it'd
I'd
be
love to hear.
cool, but
Yeah,
fucking terrifying also because it's like what's happening.
yeah. So I am definitely looking forward to reading more on my own about what the
Mhm.
fuck's going on around the world with all of these little pockets of seemingly nothingness that has so much activity going on. And, hopefully someone out here listening to us has a story they want to share, or at the very least, you enjoyed listening to us ramble and conspiracy hop and just
Yes.
lose our minds over
Yeah, me over here like no freaking way.
it's aliens.
Yeah,
Like
for
it's
real.
not just me reading all of this though, and so I've just been like, I can't wait to tell Desiree.
My hair even looks like that guy's hair today.
That's my hair can't be contained because everything is just. And with that, we'll leave you.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode. If you have your own story, like Mariah said, send it in. If you've heard of something and you want us to do the research for you, send it in. We
Yeah, just like
definitely, yeah, invite all things that.
spooky, wonky, weird, and wonderful. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Camels are what bring us together today. And so,
Aliens.
aliens and camels. Oh my.
Any weasel. Carry
Any.
on. B&D and get your grandmother a pack of cigarettes. They're in the freezer.